This is Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. Presented by Jack in the Box.
Welcome to Shirts, Texas, everybody. It's the finale of Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights, and we have saved our best for last. It's Steele and Clemens in an old-fashioned district rivalry. Good evening, everybody. I'm Don Harris, along with my broadcast partner, Chuck Mikatinik. And Chuck, you know, it's so cliche to say throw the records out, but you know what? These two teams, they don't like each other. They're next-door neighbors. They've got great talent, and even though most of the postseason has been set forth for them, nothing really to play for tonight, there's a lot to play for.
You know what?
Tonight.
This is why you play these games. I mean, yeah, this is not a playoff game, but it kind of is. I mean, it's got all the feel for it. These two teams live in each other's backyards, basically, and Steele, their playoff opponent's already been set. Clemens is going to play one of three teams when they make it to the postseason. But again, these two programs are very rich in tradition. This is one of those rivalry games. We're going to see a lot of hitting tonight. You can bet on that.
And don't be fooled by that 5-4 record. It's the best 5-4 in the entire state. And you're going to see Division I talent all over the field, including number 11, Tommy Bush of Clemens. All you have to say, he's an Under Armour All-American. He can choose any school in the country.
Yeah, over 40 D1 offers. Alabama, we just heard that he visited Michigan State recently. Pretty much the pick of the litter in terms of where Tommy Bush is going to end up. And it's going to be an interesting battle tonight between he at wide receiver and the do-everything safeties over at Steele High School. I mean, my goodness, when you're talking about Caden Stearns and Javian Cardwell, I mean, we're talking about probably the two best safety combo in the entire state. These guys are absolutely dynamic in every way, shape, or form. Stearns heading to Texas, Cardwell heading to Oklahoma State. Good luck mixing it up with those guys.
Yep, and absolutely. On the offensive side of the ball, they have just as much talent, including running back Brendan Brady, who's over 1,200 yards. And the other guy to watch for Clemens, their running back, Marshawn Brown, no slouch, over 1,000 yards as well.
You know, as much as these two teams, we talk about the explosive and dynamic players that they have on the edges, make no mistake about it. Both of these teams like to ground and pound the ball as well. Both of these guys electric in their own right. Both of them going to be college players as well, and both of them over 1,000 yards already this season.
It took until week 10, but we finally have some football weather. Let's go down for our ASCO game time conditions to Mike Hernandez.
Yeah, definitely some football weather. It's beautiful. I love this. 57 degrees, nice little chill in the air. The winds are out of the north at between 8 and 10 miles an hour, so that makes it feel even cooler. Everybody's got their jackets, even some coats, even some mittens I saw out there in the stands. And it is going to be a nice night, overcast, and I think well, of course, the rain has moved off, so it's just going to be great football weather.
Mike, as much as we talked about all these all-stars, we can't get them all. But there's even more guys that we're keeping our eye on, right?
Well, you know, you talked about how stellar the defensive backs are on the Steele side, but Clemens has a couple of guys that you need to watch tonight. Jaquez Tyler, 6 INTs already this year, and then right next to him, Darius Van Dyke. He's the strong safety, and he's the second-team All-Stater. He's got 14 career INTs, and get this, both of them also run kickoffs back as well, so very explosive on both sides of the ball.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike. When we come back, we will have our keys to the game. It's going to be a good one. It's Steele and Clemens from Shirts on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights.
You're watching Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights, presented by Jack in the Box.
It's a little chilly out here in Shirts. Blankets, hot chocolate, some mittens. Good football weather. And right now it's time for our Hallmark University keys to the game. Chuck, we start with Steele.
Yeah, for head coach David Signs, the first thing they want to do tonight, play disciplined football. They also want to tackle. That was a problem for them early part of the year, but they seem to have gotten that taken care of, and then execute on both sides of the football.
Coach Signs in his first year with the Knights.
You know, it is. It's always just a big game just because it's a rivalry game, you know, with two teams within the same district. But again, it's great for the community. It's great for the band, the cheer, pep squad, things like that. But it's good because it's a nice tune-up to go into the playoffs, start the playoffs with.
As for Coach Jared Johnston and the Buffaloes,
Well, the first thing they'd like to do tonight is protect the ball. They do not want to give Steele more opportunities to possess it. Secondly, keep everything in front of you. Do not give up the big plays. And then lastly, move the chains, win the time of possession. Keep the ball as much as you can out of the Steele Knights' hands.
we asked Coach Johnson what his team has to do to win tonight's ball game.
Well, it's no secret. Anybody's watched us play the last 9 ball games. We're gonna have to run the football and pick up first down and really try to control the clock. That's gonna be the key. You know, as long as we can keep Steele's high potent offense off the field and giving our defense a rest, you know, I think that helps us. And so that's going to be key tonight is picking up those first downs and those 3rd and 2s and 3rd and 3s that we catch ourselves in and getting those first downs and staying out of 3rd and long is really going to be key for tonight's victory.
Easier said than done. When we come back, the Clemens High School Band will play our national anthem, and we'll kick it off here on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights.
Closed captioning for tonight's game is sponsored by Lymphedema MD.
It's time for our national anthem. We turn it over to our public address announcer, Ken Witt.
Tonight, the national anthem will be sung by the Clemens Choir.
Thanks for watching the Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights pregame show. Stay tuned for tonight's first half kickoff. You're watching Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights, presented by Jack in the Box.
We're back in shirts. Rivalry, a good old-fashioned backyard brawl. The Clemens Buffaloes playing host to the Steele Knights. Both teams home field right here, but it is Clemens' home game. They're the older school in the district. And right now they are the higher seeded school in the district race.
Yeah, just one loss, but man, what a great night for football. This place is packed, our best crowd of the year. Not a playoff game, but boy, it sure feels like one, doesn't it, going in?
People were standing outside the stadium at about 5 o'clock in line waiting to get into this place. Time for our first half kickoff, brought to you by Ernest Roofing. Ernest Roofing, we got you covered. They're going to keep it away from Stearns and Cardwell
Little pooch kick out at about the 32-yard line. Of course, flag's going to fly since it went out of bounds, and Steele will have it at the 35-yard line. And the Knights are led by a freshman. His name's Wyatt Beagle.
On the kicking team. 5 yards at the out-of-bounds spot. First down.
Started the season with their receiver Onyx Smith playing quarterback because they really didn't just want to throw a young freshman right into the fire with that schedule that they have with Lake Travis and O'Connor and Judson and others. And so they went about 4 games in before they turned it over to the freshman, and they like what he gives this ball club. You can see he's 30 of 43 on the season, and he's got a horse behind him in Brennan Brady, the running back who is already committed to the Rice Owls. I'll hand to Brady on first down, and Brady's got a bunch. He's got about 6 yards on first down.
I like that Brady bunch. Nice, dude.
Waited all week for that one. I was going to make sure I said it on first down before I forgot. They want to go quickly, but keep your eye on 62, Charlie Zeno up front. He's committed to McNeese State, and Onyx Smith's going to Bowling Green to play for former Steele coach Mike Jinks. The freshman keeps it right across the first down marker. It looks like they'll move the chains.
Yeah, as you said, Wyatt Beagle came in the second half of the New Braunfels game and been leading this team ever since, and they've really gotten a roll here of late. A little bit of a slow start to the season for the Knights. Very unlike Steele to have this many losses this deep into the season, but very competitive ball games, and this team is really clicking right now as we get ready to start the second season.
It's a Kielbasa smoke meets first down as they throw it out into the flat, and being pushed out of bounds after a gain about 2 is Daniel Jackson.
Darius Van Dyke over there on the coverage and making the tackle out of bounds.
Yeah, I said it's the best 5-4 team in the state. This is a team that played for the state championship a year ago, and you look at who they lost to and how they lost and how close they lost these games, and there's a lot of teams that would love to have a 5-4 record with that schedule. Ball's intercepted. They're going to say it was incomplete.
Johnny Graham over there making a play, trying to make his case, and he got the pick.
Receiver just didn't come back to the football, and he did a good job of selling it, but it clearly hit the ground.
Don, I think the most interesting thing as we look at these two teams is just the sheer size of these kids. Size of the programs, yeah. A lot of kids on both sidelines tonight dressed out for this one, but these are some big, strong, physical teams with lots of speed and lots of talent on the outside.
Beagle scrambling, got it. Brady out in the flat. Brady's got the 40, puts his head down and strains for the 35. It gets about the 37. Ball came out and is loose, but they're going to say it went out of bounds right there at about the 37-yard line.
How about the freshman making a play with his feet? Feeling the pressure from his backside, stepping up, finding his check down. Let's see if that ball came out. Oh, yeah.
He was still up, but it was recovered by a Knight. Tyron Smith on the recovery. Forward progress may have been stopped, but either way, it's first down as they hand inside, breaking it outside. Brady across the 20 and into the Miracle Mattress red zone.
Thought they might call a little horse collar there, but not going to see it. Just another great run. Steele doing a lot of their damage here on this opening drive via the run, and look at a face mask action on the back end of that, trying to pick up the extra couple of yards there.
So the Knights on the move into the red zone. Here's Brady again, across the 15. Brought down there by Anthony Graham. Graham, the senior defensive back.
Charlie Zeno, number 62, doing a really nice job pulling on that play. And the running back cut it up back towards the left side, able to pick up 5. So Steele marching here early. Really playing some smash mouth football here to start this football game, as we thought we might see tonight.
Second down and about 5. Here's Brady pulling forward inside the 10, down to about the 6-yard line. You can see why they like Brendan Brady so much as we take a look at these defensive starters for the Clemens Buffaloes. Jock Tyler playing defensive end. You got the corner, Jock Tyler is number 10. He is the return man that's so dangerous, and Van Dyke's a good one as well. Inside the 5 to the 3-yard line.
Again, just good old-fashioned bully ball for the Steele Knights to begin this football game. They already know who their playoff opponent is going to be. They're going to get Brennan next week. And they're trying to establish themselves on the ground here early.
Brady to the goal line. Not quite in. We'll see extracurriculars in the end zone. We'll get to the 1-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about a ½ yard for pay dirt. Steele making no bones about it. They want to run it right down your throat. The 11th play of the drive. Brady, touchdown, Knights. Steele takes the opening kickoff and runs it right down the throat of the home team, Clemens Buffaloes, and puts 6 quick points on the board.
Yeah, Don, I guess the story of this opening drive is a story about a man named Brady. It's pretty much him all the way down the field, save for one pass. That's how you start a football game right there. We're Steele, we're here. There's a reason why we went an awful long way a year ago. And again, just one of the most storied programs in the entire area.
Extra point is up, and it is true, and the Knights strike first. It's Steele 7. Clemens gets the ball first when we come back. Welcome back to Schertz, Texas, Linhoff Stadium, clearly named after Robert and Glenda Linhoff, legendary coach whose son Scott later coached the Steele program, but Glenda rightly has her name up there. She was a big part of this athletic department as well for all those many years. Great family, one of the first families of athletics in all of our South Texas area. Great people, and always great host for us when we come out here. Steele will kick it short as well. It's taken about the 25-yard line. Still on his feet across the 30, getting down to the 41-yard line before Steele finally pushes him back, and that's where Clemens will have it first. Nice return there by Darius Van Dyke.
Yeah, both of these offenses now afforded great field position to begin this football game in their initial drive of the contest. So we'll see what the Buffs do to try to answer that early touchdown by the Knights.
Of course, the story on defense for the Steele Knights is their 2 safeties, safety in a corner, Stearns and Cardwell. But look out, this is a very potent offense as well on first down as the Buffaloes go straight ahead for about 3. Marshawn Brown, their workhorse.
And Mitch Fauber getting the start at quarterback, we thought, but it's going to be Jordan Burleson. This is an offense that will play 2 quarterbacks at times. Try to see who's going to get the hot hand early.
Burleson 1 of 4 on the year for 25 yards throwing it. He has carried the ball quite a bit, 27 times. He does get a lot of playing time as he goes straight ahead for about 4 more. It's going to set up 3rd down and about 3.5, 4 yards, make it 5. Burleson's the senior. Fauber is as well. And Fauber's thrown the ball a lot more, but Burleson has more carries. And I know that ball control is key for Jared Johnston's squad tonight. They want to run clock, they want to run plays, move the chains, have those 12, 13-play drives, and keep the ball out of the hands of the Knights, and you can see why after that first drive. Big 3rd down play here. Quarterback keep not going to get there. The Steele Knight defense is fired up after a big hit by Alex Allenby. Coach is telling me before the game, look out for 20. He'll be all over the place.
Well, Coach wasn't lying. Look at him. He just reads that play great, fills the gap, stops it for a short gain, and it's an early 3 and out for this stout Steele defense.
Caden Stearns back to receive this punt. Stearns is the Longhorn commit, originally committed to LSU and then changed his decision last summer. The younger brother of Jordan Stearns, who was an all-conference player for Oklahoma State. He's going to let that die right there at about the 18-yard line, and Steele will have it. They're fired up. Late flag comes in. We'll see a little extracurricular activity. We'll see who it's against when we come back.
Welcome back. Again, 7-0 right now, early in the first quarter, Steele ahead. I'm joined by our Hallmark University title sponsor. This is Taylor Mercier, and he's the Executive Vice President. Hey, first off, I want to do is thank you all for being our title sponsor, for supporting Thursday Night Lights. It means a lot to us. You guys have done a terrific job in support. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much. And I'd like to take the opportunity to thank all the schools that participated in TNL and really thank all the San Antonio area educators. The service they provide to educating our future generation is really one that's under-acknowledged, but could not be more greatly appreciated. Which reminds me, we're still accepting final applications to our Outstanding Educator of the Year award. So if you know an outstanding educator, go to our website, hallmarkuniversity.edu, and nominate them. So we're still looking to get that last person in there. So let us know.
Thank you, Taylor. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you next year.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Big first down strike there to Onyx Smith. As I said, he's signed for Bowling Green. They hand to Brady, goes left, picks up about 3 balls out on the ground, but they're going to say, I believe,
That's a turnover.
Down. Nope, they're going to give it to him. Clemens football. Big turnover by the Buffs as Quentin Mayberry comes out with it.
This is part of the problem for Steele early in the year. They were just having too many mistakes and just great effort on the part of the Buffs to try to get that ball knocked free.
Darius Van Dyke again there may have punched it out. And Mayberry right there all over it to recover.
Yeah, just a great all-around play by Clemens, and boy, did they need it, especially after that 3-and-out on their offense, and now Clemens is going to have great field position again to start their second drive.
Buffs with the ball in the 36. Again, it's a quarterback keeper, but going nowhere as that Steele defense bowing up. Big 99 Christian Baldelamar with the tackle.
Yeah, and it looks like the Steele defense, and watching film, they know if Jordan Burleson is going to be in at quarterback, that they're mostly going to run the football. So you got more guys in the box, and you see guys just keying on the quarterback, but that's just a great individual play right there by Baltimore. Beating his guy mano-a-mano and stuffing that one for a loss.
All right, a little jet sweep to this side, good room. Maybe about 5 on the play. Marshawn Browns ran for over 1,000 yards. Running behind this offensive line, Sheldon Benson and company. Dawson Milner anchoring it. And then Brown, like I said, over 1,000 yards. And Tommy Bush, one of the top receivers in the entire country, going to play in that Under Armour All-American Bowl, and still nobody knows. He's going to announce actually at the All-American game where he's going to play college football. You mentioned at the outset, every single person wants, every school wants him. Third down, quarterback keep. Burleson across the 29, and it looks like he's going to move the sticks, and he is, for another first down. Another Kielbasa smoke meat first down.
Yeah, Burleson doing a really nice job. Gets the snap, squares as if he's going to throw. A little pump there, but then very decisive, nice little cut. Moving the sticks for Clemens to get their first down.
Alex Allenby and Noel Rodriguez on the tackle. Movement up front. No whistle, free play. And across the 25-yard line, Jere Patterson. Check that, Josh Moore on the carry. And I thought we would have an offsides, no flag.
Well, Josh looked like he got a little banged up there, but that was a really nice individual effort by he as well. Like he was going to be stuffed right there at the line of scrimmage, but bounced Ended up picking up a nice little chunk of change there. 6 yards on the carry.
Burleson and the Buffs knocking on the door of the Miracle Mattress red zone. 2nd and 4. Here's Brown. Brown doing a great job following his blockers across the 15, and all of a sudden the Buffs are moving it.
Yeah, nice little 1-2 punch from the Clemens running backs. Brown's a 3-year letterman, already up over 1,000 yards. Got another guy, Baker, likes to run the football there too. Got some very talented athletes at both of these schools, as we've talked about. And it just seems like it's always the next guy up, or anybody that's lined up on this field can beat you.
All right, 1st and 10. Straight up the gut. And still fighting his way for about 2 is Burleson. And I'll tell you what, we've got ourselves a little scrap tonight. These two teams, we told you it was a rivalry, and we've had 3 or 4 extracurricular activities going on after the plays whistled down. Here's our player profile on Dawson Milner, one of those big guys up front leading the way. He's a member of the National Honor Society, a 2-year letterman in both football and track. He was 2nd team All-District a year ago, big number 65, getting the job done. 2nd down and 10. Brown lines up one-on-one coverage on Tommy Bush at the bottom of your screen. They'll run Brown the other way, and Allenby and company stringing it out, making a nice play on it to keep it to a short game.
Now this Steele defense, so very active and so physical. There were so many guys over there just doing a really good job of eluding blocks and holding the edge. Just wasn't a whole lot of space out there in which to run. Very difficult team to run outside against the Steele Knights defense.
Clemens already in field goal range, of course, with Noah Taylor. Kicked a 52-yarder a year ago against this Steele ball club. He's 31 of 32 on extra points and 6 of 8 on the year from field goals. So they're looking at 3 right here, but they're going to Tommy Bush in the corner. Bush incomplete. Guarded by Javion Cardwell. That's a 2 Power 5 conference stars of the future going one-on-one, and Bush just couldn't come down with it.
Did everything but catch this ball at the end. Look, he was really good at trying to make a nice angle for himself. Just couldn't quite get that bottom hand up to try to secure the football.
So this will be a 33-yarder for Noah Taylor. Got plenty of those on his resume. We're cold out here tonight as we get down to near the end of the first quarter, but that one is right down Main Street, and Clemens is on the board. It's Steele 7, Clemens 3. A good one already here from Schertz, Texas.
And I'm joined by Riley Walker from San Antonio Sports. 7 players on this field, and you can tell already as the game has started, there's a lot of talent. 7 of them are going to be playing the All-Star game.
Oh, absolutely. We got 7 right now. I think there's a Under Armour All-American on the field, too. I mean, what more could you ask for on the last TNL game of the season? I'm glad to be here. I'm very excited.
Okay, so real quick, recap on the big game, when it is. The All-Star game's coming up.
Yes, sir. So we got 100 players from 53 high schools. It's going to be January 6th in the Alamo Dome after the Army All-American Bowl. You can get 2 games for the price of 1. It's $20. And our game will be kicking off at 5 o'clock p.m.
All right, Roddy, thank you so much. I appreciate your support.
It's been a pleasure.
Looking forward to seeing you at the All-Star game.
Another great season.
How about that?
Clemens with the little pooch kick. They may have recovered it, and they did. Jace McBride coming up with the football.
Yeah,
and Steele just looked unprepared. Somebody's got to go jump on that, call fair catch, something.
he's put it right between 2 lines from the receiving team, and nobody had any idea what to do with that football, except the big guy down there to recover it, the big offensive lineman. Look at this.
Just drops it in. You got to jump on that football, and Steele just wasn't aggressive enough.
And how about the backspin on that kick too, huh? Nice, well executed.
So the Buffs have it right back. Jordan Burleson playing quarterback, hands to Brown. Brown's got about 2 before being dragged backwards, and again, Allenby is just a dominant football player wearing number 20 for the Steele Knights.
Yeah, Diego Garcia and some other guys scrapping it up here on Hallmark University TNLs. We take a look at our America's Diamond Smile Cam. Everybody jacked for this one, and why not? Some early fireworks in this game and some turnovers too.
Full house. Fans still coming in as we take down to what could be the final play of the first quarter. Bush comes in motion. Straight handoff to Brown. He gets about 2, and again he's going backwards, and again more little fisticuffs afterwards. And that's going to do it. That's the end of the first quarter, and Clemens with some special teams, a turnover, an onside kick recovery, and the Buffs looking to take the lead when we come back with the second quarter. Welcome back. Start of the second quarter. Steele over Clemens, but the Buffs with the ball inside Knight territory after a onside kick recovery. Really nicely done pooch kick. And all of a sudden, the Buffs have some momentum and some energy.
Yeah, and I really like this. I mean, we got a packed house, 2 incredible ball clubs. Facebook living this, streaming this live. People around the country get a chance to see these two play.
That ball's complete. Look out. Down all the way to the 20-yard line is Vicente Perez after a nice pitch and catch from Jordan Burleson. Here's a look at our first quarter highlights brought to you by iDream SA. Steele got on the board first, running it right down the field with Brennan Brady. A long drive capped off by Brady's touchdown made it 7-0. Clemens answered with a field goal as they put together a good drive. Just couldn't quite connect there with Tommy Bush as Brown runs it to the near side. Brown for the end zone, angling for the corner. He's out of bounds at about the 5-yard line. You see Marshawn Brown's speed finally getting loose to show you that speed. 14 touchdowns on the year and over 1,000 yards.
Yeah, look at this. Just takes it over the right side, and again, he got a great block inside, but again, that speed really shows up, even with as talented as the Steele defense is top to bottom.
Brown's been selected to play in our San Antonio Sports All-Star game. You'll see him as they put Tommy Bush one-on-one, the top of your screen with Cardwell. Instead, they hand inside to Brown. But again, anytime you got one-on-one coverage out there with number 11, you might just throw it up there on that fade. They tried it once earlier.
Yeah, it looks like there was some contact on the back end of that last throw, but you got 2 savvy veteran type guys that are seniors in high school. You got this guy who could be going to Alabama or anywhere, and then Cardwell is obviously no slouch either, going to be playing at Oklahoma State. I mean, these dudes are crafty. I mean, you could sit here and have all your attention just go to those guys and watch the battles and the matchups, and you'd be pleasantly surprised at how entertaining it is as Clemens gets the punch.
Burleson on the keeper, touchdown Buffs.
So Clemens obviously doing a lot with these early turnovers by Steele. They got the field goal on the last drive after the fumble. And then Burleson doing a great job burrowing low and lunging for the goal line.
That's why he's in there, the running quarterback for Clemens, and they're an extra point away from taking a 10-7 lead, and it is good, and that's our score. Clemens is the home team. They're on top. Steele gets it back when we come back. Welcome back to Shirts. Clemens' drive was 6 plays, went 38 yards, and capped off by that 4-yard touchdown run by their quarterback, Burleson. And they line up again to potentially pooch this kick. No chance Caden Stearns is going to have a shot at it. They put Brady in there now. They're going to punch it up again, a little high kick. It's going to land at about the 33. And going backwards are the Steele Knights inside the 30, and that's where they'll have it with first down with Wyatt Beagle, the highly touted freshman quarterback of the Knights we haven't seen too much of because they had one drive and then Clemens controlled the ball the rest of the first quarter.
Well, again, Wyatt Beagle comes in and plays quarterback now, and they've done it by choice. You're right, Don. They didn't want to throw him to the Wolves early. Kid's just a freshman, but this Knights team made some mistakes early on in the season. They cleaned it up for the most part. But a couple of miscues here early has Clemens in business.
This is the first play of Steele after 14 straight by the Buffs. As Brendan Brady gets 8 of it back quickly. Tyler Smith over there on the tackle.
Yeah, we saw our man Charlie Zeno over there ready to lay the wood on somebody, but boy, this whole offensive line for Steele, and Coach Sines makes no bones about it. He said they've really carried us this year, especially in terms of leadership, but this is a very veteran group up front. They got some size as well.
Brady again on first down, gets the first down across the 40, near the 44. Brendan Brady, the young man who's committed to Rice University. Of course, he's a veteran. He played on that team last year that went all the way to the state championship game.
Yeah, had a 247-yard game a week ago.
Inside, handoff to Brady, punches it to the outside, and again gets a good 7 yards a pop. Just doing a nice job following that offensive line.
Yeah, now up close to 70 yards rushing already in this football game. So, we knew we were going to get a steady dose of Brendan Brady tonight, and he certainly made the most of his opportunities, but coaching staff just marveling about this young man's work ethic and his leadership ability and how the other guys like to follow him.
Instead, they fake it to him. Beagle down the sidelines has a first down and much more. The freshman deep into Clemens territory.
Well, we know he's just a freshman, but as many talented athletes and gifted players as there are at Steele High School, this kid's going to be special. If he can find your way starting at this school as a freshman, look out.
Yeah, no question. I mean, we joke, we call it University of Steele, and they've got so many quality athletes. If you can get on the field, both guys doing a nice job following this guy. Charlie Zeno came to Cibolo after Katrina. He's already a D1 signee or commit going to McNeese State. I'll tell you what, on the right side of that line, just let him pave the way. Keeper. And Beagle's going nowhere. Coming up is Van Dyke again from his corner spot. Van Dyke is just one of the best players in the entire area as well. He's been overshadowed by the DBs of Steele, but Van Dyke says, hey, don't forget about me.
Hey, 3-year starter, all-state, all-district, you name it. Led the city in interception combined over his sophomore and junior seasons, and can't say enough about just the angle he took to make that play. Last week they were down 7-3, Don. He returned a kick for a touchdown, gave him the lead, and then he gets the pick in the end zone to seal the game. This guy is as dynamic as anybody.
Third down, inside delay to Brady. He's not going to get there, and Clemens has stopped the Steele Knight offense again.
Anthony Graham doing an outstanding job coming up and making the leg tackle right there. Textbook.
See what the Knights decide to do here on fourth down. Ball is spotted at about the 27. They need about the 23.5. Fourth down, a long 4, maybe 5.
Yeah, they're going. Can't say enough about 20's play right there. Mercy. Shuts his block, even ate the stiff arm and still made the play.
They're going to take a break. We're going to take it with them. Steele, the fourth down conversion when we come back. Hey, the America's Diamond Smile Cam was over on the campus of Steele as they handed out the Army All-American Bowl, the San Antonio Sports All-Star Game jerseys presented by HEB. And right now, the Knights will be smiling if they can convert it on 4th down. Beagle fires to Onyx Smith. Smith's got the 20, and he's got the 1st down. Good pitch and catch to the D1 receiver.
Yeah, Onyx Smith back in his natural spot of wide receiver. This guy, he's an unbelievable talent. As you said, going to Bowling Green. But obviously, you know, doing the job at quarterback early on, but he can make some plays outside, and that's his most natural spot.
Brady just kind of dancing his way for a couple. Of course, Mike Jinks coached here at Steele, a legendary Judson quarterback that led the Rockets into those deep playoff runs in the late 80s, early 90s. He coached under D.W. Rutledge at Judson before taking over here at Steele, built them into a powerhouse, won a state championship with Malcolm Brown. Went to Texas Tech to work for Cliff Kingsbury as an offensive coordinator, is now the head coach at Bowling Green, and he's coming right back to his old territory to hit those recruiting grounds. He fires over the middle, incomplete. Freshman may have just pulled the string on that one a little bit. Had a man. Good coverage there by Van Dyke.
Yeah, he dropped back, and was that ball deflected? A little bit at the line, hard to tell. Either way, pretty good coverage there on the back end, but we talk about these two schools and how close they are in proximity. You know, Coach Johnston at Clemens was on the staff here at Steele when Malcolm Brown was here under Coach Jenks.
And we've got flags flying as a pre-snap penalty.
On the offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Xavier Garza on the call tonight. False start on the Knights. So look at David Sines. He, of course, took over for Scott Lenoff. Both guys been here a long time, part of that Jinx tradition. Jinx handed the baton to Lenoff, who retired after going to the state championship game last year where they lost a close one to DeSoto. He's moved up to the AD's office as Beagle scrambles outside, and Beagle's gonna be dragged down. Oh my goodness, Carter Brew coming up and throwing him down for a loss.
Yeah, Carter Brew and then blew up. Look at this. He shot out of a cannon, man.
We said there's athletes all over the field, and just when we get settled in on talking about a couple, we hear another huge recruit coming up and making plays.
Yeah, he has a couple of D1 offers and a guy that started every game last year. This guy's a player as well.
So Matthew O'Brien will attempt a 40-yarder. Didn't have enough and was also left, and it's no good. So Clemens keeps Steele off the scoreboard again. The Buffs energized and energizing their crowd here on the near side.
Tell you what, man, this is a barn burner. I'd like to see these two squads playing every week on Hallmark TNL.
It was so fun just driving up to the stadium, you know, 2 hours before kickoff, and 4:45, nearly 5 o'clock, you got people camping out. They got their portable chairs and snacks, and they're all in line right outside the gate. First come, first serve on the general admission seating, and they were here.
Yeah, we heard, capacity's around 8,500, and it doesn't look like there's an empty seat in the house.
Burleson keeps. Good for about 4. Jared Johnston's game plan working nicely so far, and that's running the football, keeping it out of the Knights' hands, and we'll check our stats coming up at halftime, but I think time of possession and plays run, Clemens is dominating at this point.
Yeah, the biggest thing in this ball game is obviously the extra possessions. You know, you're turning the ball over if you're Steele. Your offense and your high potent offense is not on the field. Subsequently, you give it back to that team's powerful offense in Clemens.
Burleson keeps again. Good for about a yard and a half. Again, the officials quickly in there to break up any sort of physicality that happens right at the whistle.
It's about what we expected, man. 2 gigantic programs with a lot of kids with size and speed and big hearts too. This is a meaningful ball game, especially for these seniors. You know, these are bragging right games.
These kids go to church together. They've played with each other in flag football in the 4th grade against each other. They know each other well. And Burleson keeps and gets another kielbasa smoke meat first down before Allenby brings him down.
Well, great play design there by Clemens. You know, this one you're about ready to say, man, Steele's got them right where they want them. Behind the chains. They come out and gash him right there. Look at that. Looks like the play's going to go left. Quarterback runs right. Very nice job there to pick up the sticks and get a fresh set for the Buffs.
Ticking down inside of 5 minutes. Very quick first half as both teams staying on the ground. Burleson fakes to Brown again. And again, he's got big room before Caden Stearns finally makes sure he's down right at the 45-yard line.
Burleson took a little bit of a shot there at the end, but you're fair game if you don't slide. If you lead with the head, you're inviting contact. Burleson some tough running yards, trying to get that extra couple. Does just that, but pays the price. That is a load, man. What is he, 6'4", pushing 2 bills?
Yeah, and can run like the wind. Of course, his brother was at Oklahoma State, was just punishing as a safety, a headhunter. And Caden is going to take his talents to Austin. It's Burleson again, and he's driven back by Allenby, who's got the football, but I'm sure they're going to say he was down, but oh my goodness, and Alex Allenby come up and lay a lick.
You know, there's so many players on that side of the ball. I mean, it's just insane.
The way he fought off the blocker was more impressive than the tackle.
You can see why he's the leading tackler on the squad and hasn't been offered yet. Hard to believe, but definitely the quarterback of his defense. And, you know, the metrics at the college level, a little bit different, but as his coach called him, he's a football-playing dude. He's been wildly successful here at Steele.
5 straight runs by Burleson as he's got a false start on the Buffs. So they've decided to just...
False start on the offense, 5 yards, still first down.
They might be kind of lulling you to sleep, thinking that Burleson's going to be the guy, and then maybe they start to turn it over a little bit more to Brown, their 1,000-yard back. But right now they are making Steele stop Jordan Burleson first. Little run-pass options, but zone reads as well, but Burleson's keeping it.
Yeah, doing a really good job with his zone blocking scheme, too, up front.
This time he hands to Brown, and Brown only gets about 3. Good tackling by Allenby out there again. And when the coaches told you he will be all over the field, he's literally making that tackle near the sideline, coming all the way from his middle linebacker spot.
Yeah, I mean, because when you're looking at this play develop, we got a nice bird's eye view here at Lenoff Stadium. You know, that's a play that looks like it's going to go for 7, 8 yards. But I'll tell you what, this young man's got a nose for the football, and it's like he sees everything a step quicker than everybody else.
So it's 2nd down and 13 for the Buffs as they send everybody left except for Tommy Bush to the right side. Again, bottom of your screen. But it'll be Burleson running for his life. Now he may throw it. He does for Bush. Bush has it. And Bush has a big gain. Good for about 7 yards. 12 yards on the play after the penalty. And it's time for us to remind you about voting for the San Antonio Sports All-Star Cheer Challenge, powered by CPS Energy. That's still going on. Go to the CW35.com, vote for your favorite cheer squad. The 2 top vote getters will win a $1,000 and $500 grant. Top 4 squads get a chance to cheer at the Army All-American Bowl or the San Antonio Sports All-Star Game presented by HEB. Both those games on Saturday, January 6th in the Alamo Dome. We'll have both games for you. The first one on the Army All-America Bowl will be on NBC on News 4. And then later in the day, right here on the CW35, Chuck and I will have the call of the San Antonio Sports All-Star Game. Take a look at the schedule. You can see why the Steele Knights were 5-4. They got off with a win over Madison, and then boom, the defending state champs. O'Connor, who could easily be a state champion this year at 9-0. They're going to run the table if they can hold off Brennan tonight. Smithson Valley, another loss, another playoff team. Judson, and then they finally get on the winning streak with 4 in a row before they come here to take on Clemens. Murderer's row on that schedule. Inside handoff to Brown. He almost popped it, but he's brought down by Cardwell. Again, a Kielbasa smoked meat first down, and they're knocking on the door.
Boy, what a luxury it is for the Steele Knights to have those 2 safeties on the back end, right? You're right, I thought that was going to the house too, but boy, Cardwell is such a special player. Then you got Stearns on the other side. Man, tough to beat those.
Brown here, dropped by Stearns coming up from his free safety spot. That's probably a touchdown against any other team. But you got an All-American playing free safety there at number 2.
Well, that's a problem, though. You know, you don't want your safeties making all those plays, because then you know there are going to be some big chunks. But good safety valves, obviously, so far, especially on these last 2 drives. But Marshawn Brown and company really coming out here and running this football quite effectively tonight.
New set of downs for the Buffs. Brown in motion, looking for Bush. Now Burleson fires for him in the corner. Way out of bounds, overshot his intended receiver. And both Stearns and Cardwell were there on coverage, but that one had no chance.
Well, if I'm reading my stats correctly, you know, that last completed pass by Jordan Burleson was running for his life. That was only his 2nd completion of the season. So not a lot of throws from this young man this year. And Bush obviously had a couple of steps there in the end zone, but again, they just haven't relied on him much to throw the football downfield. It's not his game to this point, or at least what they're asking from him.
Getting towards the end of the half, only 26 ticks left, 2nd down. Burleson keeps, gets back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. Great job by the Steele defense, and Clemens takes a timeout. They're probably going to run out their all-everything kicker and settle for 3 here with Noah Taylor. Here's a look at the Clemens schedule. They too had a tough one, nowhere near as tough as Steele in the pre-district schedule, but once you get into district play and you're playing Smithson Valley and Judson and New Braunfels, it's a beast. Did most of their damage early in the year, undefeated until a loss at Judson.
It's going to be a really interesting postseason, isn't it? Because you just don't know what the health at quarterback is at Judson right now. And I'll tell you what, I cannot believe how good some of these first-round matchups are going to be. I mean, you talk about these teams in this district having to go to 28-6A and play some of those teams in the first round.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of really quality teams going home early.
One more timeout for Clemens, so they have a couple of plays at it. Firing down, double coverage, into coverage, and intercepted. Steele shutting it down. Xavier Player.
Yeah, Player making a play, Player. How about that?
The junior DB eyeballing it, high pointing it, and coming down with it.
Yeah, I mean, just great coverage. Had 2 guys back there. Player inside leverage on that play. Ill-advised to be picking on any of these DBs for Steele, especially when there are 2 guys down there, but Clemens rolling the bones here at the end of the first half instead of trying the long field goal. And Steele up to the challenge to keep Clemens from pecking on that scoreboard again.
Only 13 seconds to work with here. They hand to Brady. He'll stumble for about 3, and that should do it. So Clemens playing here at home, the home team, and they'll have a 10-7 lead going into the half. A very exciting first half, quickly played, and as we expected, a battle of running teams, and that means running the clock. Jared Johnson on top right now, and he's standing by with Mike Hernandez.
All right, what a first half. I'm telling you, it's like 2 giants out there just duking it out. What's your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, the kids at both sides of the football are playing their tails off, you know, and we got to pick up some first downs, continue, get off the field. You know, we gave up a couple of 3rd and long on defense, and we got to get off the field, and we got to control the ball. When we get down here, we got to score points. You know, against a good team like that, can't come away with nothing. So we'll get in there and make some adjustments and come out and leave it all out on this field for the second half.
Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
All right, coming up next, it's our county-wide halftime show. We'll hear from both bands, getting a lot of feedback. A lot of people love the bands. Well, we'll bring them to you when we come back. Clemens over Steele. The bands are next.
Welcome to the Countywide Service Company Halftime Show.
All right, and welcome back. Again, the halftime score here, if you haven't been watching, it's 10 for the Clemens Buffaloes and 7 for the Steele Knights. What a game it has been so far. I'm joined by Tina Schubert from Jack in the Box, our presenting sponsor. First, I want to thank you for being a part of our team, and we just loved having you. And your smile has been electric all season.
Oh, well, thank you. It's great to be out here with everybody. It's exciting. You should be out here. The teams are doing great. The fans are just in an uproar. It's crazy.
I know, it is. It's just nuts. It isn't a playoff game, but it sure feels like it.
It does.
And these are two of the best teams anywhere in this part of the state.
And they're giving us a good show today.
They
it's
really
awesome.
really are. Speaking of good showings, what you got there? Well, you got some good stuff.
Our ribeye burgers, our Havarti burger and All-American burger. They're limited time only, so I want everybody to come out and try them because they are awesome.
They are, and they look. You know what? Somebody should take that out of your hands just to make sure nothing happens to them. Thanks, Tina. I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure. All right. It's time now for our halftime performances. And again, we start out with the bands. Right now, we're going to take a listen to the Steele Knights as they continue to perform in this halftime. Again, the score 10-7, Clemens.
You're watching the Countywide Service Company Halftime Show.
Welcome back. Halftime here in Schertz, Texas. The Clemens Buffaloes leading Steele 10-7. The band's on the field doing a great job, but right now it's time to recognize tonight's Scholar Athletes of the Week. At the end of the season, one featured student is going to be awarded a $10,000 scholarship presented by Vulcan Materials Company. Let's meet this week's students.
Our first Scholar athlete is Joseph Covey Johnson from Steele High School. Now, Covey's been on the football team for 4 years and says the lessons he's learned on the field have helped him in the classroom and in life as well.
Definitely just giving it your all at the beginning, because, you know, what you do at the beginning is going to affect what you do later on down the road. And a lot of academics is, you know, you work hard now, it's going to pay off in the end. And same thing with football. You know, you work hard now, it's going to work off later in the, you know, maybe playoffs, maybe state.
Covey is carrying a 98.5 GPA and trying to stay on top of school, and playing for a perennial football powerhouse like Steele can be a real challenge.
It's tough. It's, you know, just going home every day from practice and just working on homework and just trying to do your best in class while paying attention in class.
He also enjoys working with kids, and he feels it's a very important thing to do.
The kids definitely look up to us as athletes and scholars. They see us, and I guess they want to be us. You know, they want to see us succeed, and we want to see them succeed as well.
Covey wants to one day become a chemical or petroleum engineer. Now, our next Scholar athlete is Jonathan Voos from Samuel Clemens High School. Jonathan is a 2-year letterman on the football team and is a pitcher on the baseball team. And like all our Scholar athletes, Jonathan is a busy guy trying to juggle sports and some demanding academics.
Well, it's a lot. It's just finding like how to balance things. Like when I gotta make sure that I manage my time well in order to get everything done.
And it can get pretty complicated.
Most of the clubs I'm involved in are on different days. So I'm able to do, say, NHS on Wednesdays, FCA Thursdays, deck on Fridays, while having football and meetings on Monday and Tuesday mornings.
As for future plans?
Ultimately, I'm still not exactly sure what I want to do, but I know I want to do something sports related, whether it be coaching or managing, or even do something like, if possible, and I get in a good situation like working for a professional or college organization.
Congratulations to Jonathan Voos and Covey Johnson, your Vulcan Materials Company Scholar Athletes of the Week.
All right, great job, Mike. Great young men. And right now it's time to turn it over to the Clemens High School Buffaloes Band and Choir.
You're watching the Countywide Service Company Halftime Show.
San Antonio Sports is recognizing teams that have exhibited key values through their actions. This week, we recognize 2 teams that are going beyond the game to serve their community. The Bush Middle School girls volleyball teams rallied to help volleyball teams in Tivoli and Oswell, 2 teams hit hard by Hurricane Harvey. Their campaign raised almost $2,000 in cash and gift cards and gathered 35 boxes of donated teacher and family supplies to help the affected teams get back on their feet. On November 4th, the Jefferson High School boys and girls soccer teams volunteered to officiate a San Antonio Sports iPlay after-school soccer tournament. The Jefferson soccer players encouraged the beginners, and their coaches said they appreciated seeing the game from the other side. Both of these teams demonstrated the beyond-the-game values of selfless service, caring, and sportsmanship. To learn how parents, teachers, and coaches can nominate their teams that go beyond the game, visit sanantoniosports.org.
You're watching the Countywide Service Company Halftime Show.
Hey, we're getting closer to the second half kickoff, but right now it's time for our highlights brought to you by iDreamSA.com, connecting San Antonio teens to opportunity. Clemens leading it 10-7. The Buffaloes dominating the ground game, but it was Steele who got started first. Brendan Brady led the Knights on a long scoring drive, did all the work, got the touchdown. Clemens went to their all-everything wide receiver, but Tommy Bush couldn't bring it down, so they settled for a field goal to make it 3-0. Had that really cool pooch kick that they recovered inside Steele territory. That led to a touchdown. It was Marshawn Brown. Took him all the way down to the 5-yard line. And then Burleson, the quarterback, doing it on his own, made it 7-3. Steele tried to answer, but the Clemens defense held.
This has just been a whale of a ball game, Don. I mean, just an absolute joy to watch and cover. Both of these teams doing it essentially on the ground tonight, about what we'd expect. Some big plays mixed in as well, especially with the turnovers, and then just a great job there by the Steele defense, keeping Clemens off the scoreboard there. Xavier Player turning one in, but as we take a look at the rushing yards, basically it's about the same. Total yards about the same. First downs are exactly the same. And again, you know, Clemens has the 1 turnover, but hey, they got that essentially an onside kick that gave them an extra possession. So 10-7, stats kind of reflecting the scoreboard, and I cannot wait for the second half. I know you're looking forward to it as well.
Oh yeah, we're getting ready to kick it off. Clemens leads at the half, 10-7 when we come back. Welcome back. The Steele Knights have taken the field. They're ready to get going. We're waiting on the Clemens Buffaloes, and we'll send it down to Mike Hernandez.
Yeah, folks, I had a chance to talk to Coach Sines from the Steele Knights about the first half. A couple of things he said, and not surprisingly, he said he needed to eliminate the turnovers, gave Clemens a couple of short fields. He said, obviously, that's got to stop. He said, but on offense, he was pleased with the way they were moving the ball. He thought they did that well defensively. Overall, he thought they were doing a good job of containing. He did say, though, they were going to have to find a way to stop that weak side run. And that weak side run, the quarterback was doing a lot of that. And for the most part, I don't know how much he gained, but it looked like he probably got 60, 70 yards in that first half alone.
Yep. Yeah, Mike, I tell you what, in the second half, Steele's going to have to find a way to move the football against a very good Clemens defense. And Clemens, I think, will try to do this more of the same. Use Burleson, running the football, running the clock. Again, that was a very quick first half.
Yeah, I mean, Burleson, the quarterback, had 35 yards rushing, but you add that to Brown's 51, that's a pretty nice chunk of change on the ground, moving the football for Clemens in their limited possessions. And on the other side, Brady for Steele closing in on 100. So both of these squads doing a very good job running the football when they've had it. But again, the biggest thing is, what's the score? It's 10-7. Both defenses class and really rising up and holding down these explosive offenses, both doing a good job on D.
Chuck, you and I were talking during halftime about the unbelievable playoff matchups we're going to see in the first round. And, you know, with Brennan tonight beating O'Connor 28-20, O'Connor the new #1 after Judson fell. And now they're getting all they can handle from the Bears. And then next week you're going to have, you know, these two teams playing Brennan and O'Connor, and it could go either way.
And we don't know what the injury situation is with Brennan and their star running back.
Jameel Jeter, yeah, looks like he's out.
Yeah, I saw he tweeted that he was having surgery, so we obviously wish Jameel the best and know that he's going to be playing at Oklahoma State regardless of, you know, what's going on with his injury situation in high school. But obviously, you know, that's a big guy back there that Brennan would love to have. Obviously, he's the key to their offense. But yeah, you're talking about Steele and Brennan as a first-round matchup, and one of those teams going home, and yeah, Brennan beating O'Connor tonight
without him, without
right.
Jeter. So
yeah.
I mean, and O'Connor is as good a team as we've seen. And you know, take your pick, Clemens, Steele, Brennan, O'Connor. These are going to be toss-up games next week in week 1.
And then Clemens, you know, yeah, they could get O'Connor or the Warren Taft winner. So still some things to be decided there. But again, it's just interesting, these first-round matchups. And I know it's rotten for one of these programs that they got to go home, the loser. But if you're a high school football fan, boy, that first week of the playoffs sure is going to be fun to watch.
I could hand our spare headset to Mark Kusenberger and have him give us all of the playoff scenarios off the top of his head, but it would make our head explode because there's so many. I like the way he says, more than likely it's going to be Steele and O'Connor, right?
Well,
Steele, Brennan.
The thing I like about
Clemens,
Mark
O'Connor.
is I've got a 3-paragraph diatribe from Mr. Mark, basically explaining the scenarios, and I don't have a PhD to kind of sift through this thing. So, you know what? We'll just let it all play out. We'll talk about it. That's right. We'll see it all unfold next week.
Time for our second half kickoff, sponsored by Ernest Roofing. Ernest Roofing, they've got you covered. Tommy Bush back deep to receive the kick. And they too will pooch. Bush wanted it. Instead, it's taken at the 15, and it's Tyler across the 30. Jaquez Tyler, 14-yard return. And we'll see Burleson and company right away. This offense, no secret what they want to do. They want to smash mouth you. They want to keep you off balance with those zone reads. Burleson and Brown will try to run clock and then matriculate down the field for another score. Steele Knights need to try to get off the field quickly and get the ball back.
So Jordan Burleson getting all the snaps so far in this football game at quarterback and doing a really nice job, the senior leading this offense.
So here he is, toss to Brown. Brown has some room. He's got nearly 10, all the way down close to the 40.
Boy, you have to really like the way this young man runs the football. He gets it. He's very patient, but yet decisive when he sees the hole. And then look at his pad level. A little shake and bake there at the end. And like most great running backs, always seems to fall forward for that additional 2 or 3 yards.
Sets up second down and 1. Again, it's Brown. And he's got the kielbasa smoked meat first down. Brought down by Vincent Natala-Roman.
And to the point, you see all the traffic there along the line of scrimmage. And he's just patient and then shifty and decisive once he decides where he's going with the football. Didn't look like that was going to amount to much, but here he is picking up the first down.
First and 10 for the Buffs. Again, it's Burleson keeping. He goes forward for about 2. Nadala Roman again there, stopping him with Allenby.
I was going to say 20's in there again.
Absolutely, always in there. And he's undersized, but he does such a great job of running to the football, and he's not afraid to hit you.
Well, again, you know, we see it week in and week out. Guys that can really play, forget what they look like physically. What does the tape tell you? What do your eyes tell you? My eyes tell me that guy can play. Somebody's going to be darn glad to have this guy playing, I'll tell you that.
Very balanced rushing attack as they hand to Brown. This is Brown's 14th carry. Burleson's carried it 13 times, so it's no secret. It's the Brown and Burleson show, and it's coming right at you, and you're trying to have to adjust to which one is going to carry it. But nothing fancy for Clemens, although this is a passing down, it would appear, at 3rd down and about 7. And so far, Tommy Bush just has 1 reception on the game. They're all everything wide receiver.
Yeah, this is one of those games where physically, you know, Bush is going to have a lot of guys over there that kind of look like him. So it's going to be an interesting battle.
They're running his way, looking his way. Now Burleson fires, and it's broken up by Caden Stearns. Flying in there, knocking it away at the last second.
A lot of traffic. Burleson doing a really good job getting past the initial defenders there. Squared his shoulders, tried to throw back across his body. Always a dangerous play, and Steele had plenty of guys down there to break that up, and Stearns is the guy that ended up knocking it away.
Jackson Macias on to punt it away for the Buffaloes. Stearns stands on his own 15, ready to return it. He's had some big returns this year in the kicking game. 1 for a touchdown. This one will not even get close to being, well, it takes an interesting hop, but again, Stearns stays away from it. And it'll be down at the 24-yard line, and the Knights will have it for the first time in the 3rd quarter. When we come back, they trail the Clemens Buffaloes 10-7 here in Schertz.
Closed captioning for tonight's game is sponsored by Lymphedema MD.
And welcome back. I'm joined by Stephen Dieter, the Steele High School band director. Great show at halftime. Enjoyed that. Y'all just finished a competition, didn't you? Just this past weekend?
Last Saturday was our final competition of the year. We went to the U.S. Bands competition in Austin, and we earned 3rd place in 6A, and we won Best Music.
That's great. Yeah, you guys are rock solid out there. You can hear y'all. What do you have coming up? Anything special?
Winter concerts coming up, and then we go into our spring season when we have concert and sight reading contest.
All right, well, good luck. Enjoy it. Thank you. How many guys, how many kids you have?
220.
Wow, 200. All right, you got your hands full. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike. As Brendan Brady carries for the 2nd time across the 35. Good for another kielbasa smoked meat 1st down. And I tell you what, Brendan Brady is a workhorse. He's not a huge kid, but man, they aren't afraid to give him the ball 30, 40 times a game.
Yeah, coaches were marveling about not only this guy is a football player, but just the kind of young man he is. Super smart in the class, positive influence on everybody that he's around. Other guys looking up to him, and yeah, he's definitely a plow horse.
Remember how tough he was in that state title game against DeSoto, as he carries it again for 9 more. And, you know, the underclassmen really stepped up in that state championship game. It was a heartbreaking defeat, but they had some young guys like Caden Stearns, who were sophomores or juniors last year, step up, and Brady was one of those guys.
Yeah, it's a real pleasure watching both of these backs kind of do their thing tonight, because they are both really super talented and just really veteran-style runners, you know? I mean, very patient, hit the holes well, finish off their runs well, pad level's great. Obviously, you're playing at this school or at Clemens, you got to be a talented guy to get back there and get the bulk of the carries, as Steele's got a young man down.
Brady now over 18 carries, over 100 yards, 103 yards to be exact on the night. So he's just doing what he does, as getting up and limping off
That's Rashard
for the
Beecham, the
Steele
tight
Knights.
end.
He's just a junior. Another big kid, 206. Looks like he's all right.
Yeah, we talk about the guys up front, all back from last year, including Rashard Beecham at tight end. Steele knew that the offensive line was going to be their strength coming in, and they've really lived up to it, especially here over the last month and a half or so. I mean, these guys are something else.
2nd down and 7. They hand it to the young sophomore who already has all kinds of interest as just a sophomore. Flag flies on the play, but DeQuavian Thomas, who was in there to spell Brady, is just a sophomore. Well, holding there, a little problem with the microphone. Thomas already has an offer from Texas State, and they think that by the time he's done here, he'll have Power 5 offers as well, much in the same regard as Stearns and Tommy Bush and Malcolm Brown and all the others, you know, the Texas and the Oklahomas. But right now, he's already got an offer on the table from D1 school, and he's just a sophomore.
Yeah, I mean, he's toe to the rock now 45 times on the season and averaging only 5 yards a carry, so he's getting the job done there. He also has 4 touchdowns.
So pass to the outside, caught, short of the stick. Caden Stearns playing offense for a play. As you take a look at our America's Diamond Smile cam. Clemens Buffaloes, lots to smile about right now. They lead it. And that's pretty impressive, Chuck, when you just, you know, they do this with a couple of different guys. JT Woods is another who's signed to play corner at Baylor, but they've moved him away from corner this season to play wide receiver because they're pretty solid back there with Cardwell and Stearns. And so,
right.
Like, we'll use you on the offense.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, these guys, they're football players. They're not just set to a spot.
And there's Cardwell, the all-everything safety and corner, playing wide receiver. Here's JT Woods. He's a 100-meter dash champion, so that's how you get to be a Power 5 recruit is speed, speed, speed. He's got a 3.7 grade point average, all-everything in track, and also spends his time volunteering for the San Antonio Food Bank, a youth mentor. But again, they've got him listed as wide receiver DB. He's a DB all the way at the next level, but playing wide receiver because of all the talent that they have here at Steele. Clemens almost got to that punt as it bounce right at the 25-yard line. Van Dyke will let it bounce down to the 20. Buffs will have it there. It's Clemens over Steele. 10-7, 6:28 to go here in the third. It's cold, and now it's starting to get a little drizzly here at Lenoff Stadium in Schertz as the Buffaloes take over on their own 20-yard line. Jordan Burleson booting it out to the right-hand side, keeping it, diving forward for about 4. Can't say enough about the job that young man has done today. His job, run the football, and 27 carries, 167 yards coming in on the whole season tonight. Splitting time with Mitchell Faulber, but Burleson doing a great job till right this moment when it looks like he's got an ankle.
Ankle or knee.
Let's go down to Mike for an ASCO Game Time weather update. Mike, you getting wet?
You know, it's a really, really fine mist. Matter of fact, I was just asking some of the folks around me, is it just me, or is there something in the air? So there's this little mist that's just started here in the last 4 or 5 minutes, and I don't know if it's going to continue. It's just kind of hanging around, but I can see it. If you look up in the lights, you can actually see that mist coming and kind of blowing across the field there.
All right, so hopefully it's not anything heavier than that as Burleson limps off, and that's going to be a big, big part of this football game because Clemens has dominated time of possession and rushing yardage because of his ability to run the football, and it'll be interesting to see if he'll be able to return. They'll come in with Faulber, who again is their passing quarterback. He's got 95 attempts on the year throwing the football and only 16 carries. And so you'll likely see Brown and the other running backs toting the rock from here on out. That one's straight ahead. Gain for about 2, set up 2nd down and 3. Make it 3rd down and about 3. Fauber's a senior. He's 42 and 95 for 626 throwing. Thrown 8 touchdown passes this season. And again, he doesn't carry it much. So instead they go with an I formation and a couple of backs behind him, including Brown. It's a toss sweep and breaking it right down the middle for another first down is Marshawn Brown, and great blocking up front.
Yeah, nothing tricky about that one, huh? He's gonna run a little I formation, 21 package. Toss it back to number 6, and look at that. Hits the hole, and a step or 2 away from popping that from going to the house.
Looked like it was. Kielbasa Smoke Meat, first down, 1st and 10. Tick inside of 5 minutes. Again, they go with the pro I set with Fauber calling the signals. Jordan Burleson out with a leg injury. Here's Brown again. He's broken it, and Stearns misses the tackle.
Look
Brown
out.
being chased. He's going to be run down by Cardwell, and that's why you see guys playing at Oklahoma State. That closing speed by number 3, something we hadn't seen all year.
Yeah, really special on the back end, but I'll tell you what, this guy's having a nice ball game. Look at the cut. And he's looking to see who's going to be there to get him, and I'll be doggone if it's not a D1er coming after him.
Did he cover some space?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, my goodness. Inside the Miracle Mattress red zone, despite the closing speed by Javion Cardwell, the Buffs knock it on the door again.
Yeah, Marshawn Brown, have yourself a night, young man.
Inside handoff to the fullback, busting forward for about 2. And that is Josh Moore.
You know, Josh Moore's had a nice night, too, whether it's carrying the ball. He's been really special throwing blocks, too, whether it's picking up blitzes or getting out on the edge. You talk about a team as wildly successful as Clemens has been this season running the football. There are a lot of guys, not just the running back, that have a part in that.
Inside of 4 minutes. 2nd and 8. They'll go Brown. Brown still on his feet, leans to his right and gains about another 3. It'll be 3rd down time. Last time the Buffs had a red zone possession, they threw an interception late, ending what could have been a point opportunity with their great field goal kicker, Noah Taylor. Instead, they threw the pick, and it'll be interesting to see how adventurous the play calling gets here, knowing that you have an opportunity to get at least 3.
I think what's interesting, too, is talking to the Clemens coaches and Coach Johnston this week is they wanted to shorten this game and keep Steele's offense off the field. How about this to start the 3rd quarter in this drive?
Pre-snap penalty, may have been a false start.
Look at how much time they've eroded off the clock. Little misstep there.
So instead of 3rd and 5, it's 3rd and 10. They'll back it up to the 12-yard line. And again, Clemens is going to have a decision here as to just how adventurous they want to get on the play calling. They don't want to see another turnover when you can add 3 points. Again, with a new quarterback with his first series. They hand to Brown, and he's eaten up. The Steele defensive front getting it done.
Yeah, Jalen Reed, 23, coming in on a run blitz, too. He didn't miss. Outstanding, selling out on the run and getting gashed on this drive. And Jalen comes in there, does a really nice job stoning that thing early on. So they're what? These guys are getting after. Aren't they down in the trenches?
Physical. It's been physical all night long. They'll spot it at the 22. It'll be a 32-yarder from Noah Taylor, who's already got one tonight. And as I said, he's one of the best in town. Kicked a 52-yarder against Steele last year. That one right down the middle and true again. And Clemens adds 3 more. Steele still trails by only a touchdown. We got a good one for you on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights.
All right, I'm being joined by Robert Petrisky. He is the Clemens band director. How many years have you been doing this?
This is my 13th year as head director and my 38th year as a band director.
All right, so I asked the Steele's band director what you guys have going now from the rest of the season. This is kind of the end of UILs, the end of a lot of the competitions. What's cooking next?
Well, we are hopefully, it looks like we're going to the playoffs, and we'll keep performing and supporting the team.
All right, well, listen, you guys sound good. How many kids do you have under your care?
We have 267 in the Mighty Buffalo Band.
That's all right. You sound great, too. It's a very great band. Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the game.
The Mighty Buffalo Band. Steele's going to have good field position again after a nice return. Tyron Smith on that pooch kick. And kickoffs are becoming so interesting at the high school level. It's just nobody kicks it away anymore because there's so many good athletes. And at the same time, they're willing to give up good field position with these pooches. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it's that, and I think it's like at every level. You know, you've got gunners coming down and kids playing so hard and trying to cover their spots, and you get a lot of guys hurt too. I think that's part of it.
They don't worry about it in the NFL because they always kick it out of the end zone. You don't have the kickers that can do that at this level. So, you know, a couple years ago, I thought the conversation was really stupid. Do you eliminate kickoffs? There was that concern for concussions. But really, as much as you see these pooches and you see these kids trying to kick it out of the end zone anyway, I mean, I don't know if it would matter if you just said, okay, you know, we're going to split the difference and put it to 30 every single time.
Yeah, I don't know. Would we miss it? I don't know. Maybe so, but you might be right. I think I'd be okay with that.
Tyron Smith gets out of a tackle and down the sidelines into Clemens territory and out of bounds inside the 30.
Tyron Smith making a name for himself tonight. That was a really nifty return on the kick when they were receiving it, and then he gets his hands on the ball. First play from scrimmage and does a nice job spinning outside and turning a little into a lot.
Brendan Brady lining up in the backfield. And we've got more physicality on the front because, of course,
On the offense. 5 yard. Still first down.
Here's the thing. You and I as football fans, I think most of the fans out there, we would miss it if there were more of those return opportunities where a guy catches it a yard deep and comes out and gets blasted at the 15. That's fun, right? But that never happens anymore because you either pooch it or you kick it out of the end zone. And so in a football game, you may have one return the entire game now. So we're missing it anyway as Tyron Smith catches it. He's thrown down. Van Dyke coming up to make the play.
Yeah, a really good job by Smith coming back for the football. Equally as good a tackle there by Van Dyke. Already extolled his virtues and what kind of player he is. Covering up guys for the Buffs.
Just a terrific player. Haven't heard his college interest right yet, but he's another guy that's going to play at the next level.
The coaches said, we just let him be an athlete. You can see why.
Second down and now 11 for Beagle down the sidelines, and he's overshot Onyx Smith.
Yeah, Tyler down there covering him stride for stride.
Yeah, great coverage here by Jaquez Tyler.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to get some inside leverage there, turn him back in towards the safety, but once he saw that it looked like he was going to get a whole lot of help over the top, he was right there equal to the task.
Third down, little screen opportunity here, and it is blown up. Smith buried by a stampede of Buffaloes. Leading the way again was Van Dyke, and that's going to take us to the end of the third quarter. Clemens, their fans have been fired up all night, and they're going to the fourth quarter with a 13-7 lead. Welcome back. Time for our iDreamSA.com highlights, and it was the Marshawn Brown show in the third quarter. Both teams living with the running game. And you know what? Who says running football is boring football? You don't have to air it out to have excitement. Not when you have offensive linemen and running backs this dynamic. This has been a thrilling game despite the score at just 13-7. This has been a quality football game. Taylor with his second field goal of the game, and as you look at the stats, we're set up for a fantastic finish.
Well, again, I mean, the biggest thing about the third quarter was that Clemens just possessed the ball, and when they were done possessing it, they went down and got some points. Now, you wonder if settling for field goals at some point is going to come back to haunt them, because obviously this is still a one-score game.
It is 4th and 17, and Steele will punt from midfield. And calling for a fair catch, letting it go over his head is Van Dyke. Smart play, textbook play that'll come out for the touchback.
Now to get 20 yards of real estate to help on the first possession here. But tell you what, this has been one heck of a ball game here on the battle for the 3-0-0-9, as they're billing it. Everything that we thought we were going to get tonight, we've gotten and more. Some big plays, big special teams plays, some turnovers, some great run blocking and some great running.
Yeah, this has been fun one. The skill level has been off the chart. Plenty of scouts here tonight as well. Looking at these two. Here's Brown. Gets submarined right at about the 22-yard line.
I can't say enough too, Don. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but just the size of the crowd and how the community has rallied behind this game. I mean, it's been a lot of fun.
Oh, packed house. Everybody's enthusiastic. They got a huge charcoal broiled grill down there. They're cooking hamburgers for everybody, hot dogs. People are putting their hands around the fire. It's awesome. Here's Brown again. He's got some space. And he's got near the stick, and he's got a first down, I do believe. He's right at it, right past it.
Wow, this guy just continues to amaze and chew up yards in this football game. And you just have to like the tenacity in which he's running with. I mean, right there, he's contacted. Looks like he's going to be short of the sticks, but never stops churning those legs. Picks up an additional couple yards.
So he's got 20 carries for 134 yards. Brendan Brady has 20 carry for 100 yards. And here's Brown again, and he's blown up in the backfield. Getting back in there again. We've seen 99 in there quite a few times tonight, and that's Christian Baldelamar.
Yeah, 99 problems, but a ball carrier ain't one. Hit me. Getting back there doing some work.
Baldelamar, one of those star defensive guys for Steele, along with their heralded secondary.
Yeah, and they got some other big guys up front. Juan Henry already has an offer from New Mexico State, hasn't committed, but yeah, there's plenty of talent up front there for the Steele Knights.
Here's Brown. He breaks the first tackle, but again, Steele holds him for just about a 2-yard gain, so it's going to set up 3rd down and 11 for Clemens, and Steele could be getting the ball back, down only a touchdown, if they can make a stop right here.
Yeah, and right on cue, Juan Henry making the tackle and then showing some sportsmanship there at the end and picking him up.
So here's a guy who's already got an offer from New Mexico State. Usually when we do TNL games, if you get an offer, we mention you off the top of the show. He's got 8 other guys that are going to places like Oklahoma State, Baylor, and Texas. And so what did they say this week? How many coaches come through Steele in a given season from other schools?
We'll get to that in just a second.
As Brown gets it short, picks up about 3 more. But it's crazy the amount of scouts that come through the University of Steele each and every year.
Yeah, right.
To check out this. I remember when I went out there when Malcolm Brown was playing, and I was talking to Mike Jinks about the size of their offensive line, and he goes, that's the JV.
Well, to answer your question, Don, 60 to 80 college coaches come through here on a given year, and you know, the Steele coaches will tell you they enjoy it. They're used to it. Obviously, there's not a lot of schools that you would think would be equipped to handle that, but as we watch the punt kind of check back here.
Check back, and
but talking to Coach Sines, I mean, he was saying, hey, man, we get to pick all these guys' brains, these college coaches, talk schemes and the like, so we're getting some benefit as well as coaches.
It's a win-win. Who's going to win this one? Steele's got it with a chance to go ahead. 8 minutes left. We're coming back on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights.
Us. We are on the sidelines here in the Clemens crowd here. I'm joined by the Smiths. This is Ruben and this is Tina, and they are the Smiths. Ruben here and Tina I met years ago when their little boy, who has cancer, they were having some fundraisers for him, and that was through the Bulverde Fire Department, which you're a member of.
Right. Yes.
So now, fast forward, he's in the 5th grade now.
He's in the 5th grade.
And he's actually out on the field. He's one of the ball boys. So maybe Bryce, yeah. Okay, Bryce, we're showing Reed right now, and he's grown quite a bit. Looks like he's doing well. What's the latest on him?
The latest, Reed just had a tumor removed from his spinal cord in June, and he goes to physical therapy twice a week. But he's thriving, and he's doing great. This has really been awesome. It's been very therapeutic for him. And he's in remission. He's been in remission almost 7 years now. The tumor that they removed was benign, so he's doing good.
Well, thank God for that, and you all take care.
Yes,
you guys, such a great spirit, and he is such a wonderful little boy.
Oh, yes, he is.
And you know, it's been a while since I'd seen him, but he looks great. You can't tell that he just had an operation. All right, back to you guys. I just want to let you all know that we had something very special going on with the family and with that little boy who's on the field, who's a ball boy. He actually runs out with them every day, every time the game's on, and the team just loves him.
Yes. Yeah, he loves the team and the coaches. They've embraced him like one of their own.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Ruben.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Fantastic story. Glad to hear the youngster doing well. That's awesome. They hand it inside to Brendan Brady. Steele now driving for the potential go-ahead score. Completed a big 3rd down conversion for 10 yards to Caden Stearns, who came on the field to play offense for that one play. And when you got kids that are ranked as the second best safety in the country, you got that kind of athletes, you sometimes you need to tap into them to make them play both sides of the ball.
And the funny thing to me is the strange thing I should say is that here they are, they already know Steele does who they get next year or next week in the playoffs, and you think this game means something to them anyway? Of course it does. That's some of their biggest guys in there.
Start on the offense, 5 yards.
But this speaks to what's going on here at Steele, and Coach Sines obviously taking the torch and leading the charge for this squad. But he was telling us, hey, you got Stearns and Cardwell, two super players, but when these guys are your hardest workers, it's easy for everybody else to get in line. So they're getting a lot of leadership, not to mention a lot of production out of those two guys on the back end.
They got Stearns singled up at the top of your screen, 3 receivers to the bottom. They fire to Stearns. Turns around and catches it for a 5-yard gain. Kind of slow to stand up, but Stearns limping around a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you were just walking around before the game and looking at both of these squads. I mean, again, you just don't see many programs with this many large human beings.
Big,
just strewn
tall,
across the field.
fast,
I mean,
strong football players.
I'm telling you, they look like a college team out there, both of these squads.
There's a keep. Beagle doing a nice job dancing forward across the 30. He's going to be close to the marker. Coming up afterwards, the Clemens cheerleaders there holding our Monarch trophies. These trophies awarded to the winning team and the player of the game. The trophies designed by Monarch Studio as they do move the chains for the first down. Hey, if you're looking for trophies, plaques, custom engraving, call Monarch at 210-344-3777.
So now we're getting down to the point in the game, and because both of these teams have done such a great job at chewing the clock. You know, if you're Steele, you're obviously looking for the go-ahead score, but you want to work on that clock as much as humanly possible.
A little wildcat action there. I wasn't sure if that was Brady or Thomas, but it was Brady. And he's inside the Miracle Mattress red zone. After a gain of about 3, it'll be 2nd down and 7 for the Knights. And Chuck, the way that Clemens has controlled the clock and the ball, you think if you're Steele, this might be your last shot at it. Here's Brady. Brady, another big hole on the right side. An offensive line doing a great job as he clears the 15.
And you're seeing too, you know, in a game of this magnitude, how the margin for error is so slim. And here Clemens has done a great job all night, possessing the football, controlling this football game, and yet here Steele is inside of 4 minutes with a chance to take the lead.
Brady has it again. Brady stumbles forward inside the 15 down to about the 12. And the other interesting thing is with Stearns on the field, and with Stearns split to one side and Onyx Smith to the other, they're having to roll Van Dyke over to the other side.
I'll tell you what, great play by Williams there, number 68. Daniel Williams, listen to this, strongest kid in the program. Power cleans over 300, benches over 400.
Lord have mercy.
Get off me.
Here's a keeper by Beagle. He dances outside and quickly coming up to make a tackle right at the 10-yard line. But it really has changed up things because Van Dyke was really right in the middle of the field keying on the run. He's had to kind of shade over to those two great wide receivers as you look at Tyler Smith.
Yeah, Johnny Graham doing a really nice job on that last play too, but I got all kinds of DBs at Clemens High School. Tyler Smith being one of them, Honor Society kid, 3-year letterman, plays baseball. This is another guy, they were thinking he was going to be a linebacker, but through fate, they kind of got their cake and ate it too. An interesting story with Tyler Smith because he plays baseball on the center. He plays center field on the baseball team. But this guy, because Clemens went on such a long run for baseball last year, you know, they were going to try to stick him inside, but turns out they found their linebacker
He made a tackle right there.
Yeah, and then he's so good on the back end, but they knew they were going to find a place for this guy because he's special as well.
3rd and 3. Brady, Bulls ahead. Brady across what looks to be a first down. The sideline official on the far side spotting it. Looks like they will move the chain, and they do. It'll be a 1st and goal from about the 2.
So now Clemens has got to do something. You know, it's almost one of those, do you let him score to get the ball back to save the clock? Still got 3 timeouts. Who's going to budge?
Low snap, Brady handles it, touchdown Knights! Steele ties it up with a chance to go ahead with the extra point.
Got to be careful now, got some extracurriculars. This game's too close and the margin for error just too big, and there's been some scrapping going on all night, but what a drive for Steele. Again, low snap, Beagle doing a great job finding the ears, gets it to his running back, who gets the punch, and now Steele just a point extra from taking the lead in this football game with $1:41 left.
Matthew O'Brien for the go-ahead PAT. It's low, it's a knuckler, but it's good.
Phil Necro special.
Steele by 1. Clemens has a chance to answer. T&L going down to the wire on the CW35. Welcome back to America's Diamond Smile Cam. The Steele Knight fans with a lot to smile about as they go on top. 14-13, we've got 1:41 to go. Clemens with the football after the kickoff, and remember their passing quarterback is now on the field after the injury to Jordan Burleson. Mitchell Faber is in at quarterback, and who knows, maybe Tommy Bush will get a chance to return this one.
I sure would like to see that, but it's going to be interesting because Faber's down there trying to stretch out his leg, make every attempt to come back in this football game, but so far he's sat out the last 2 series.
Bush is one of the deep backs along with Jaquez Tyler, both electric athletes. Because of the penalty, you know, if you pooch this one, they're going to be on the 45-yard line, so you may have to kick it away and then deal with dangerous return guys.
Well, there was a lot of extracurriculars going on in the last part of that drive, and Steele finally got caught.
It's Jaquez Tyler. He's dangerous. Tyler in the middle of the field. Tyler gets taken down right at the 36-yard line. Tried to break it outside, but a good job there by the Steele special teams. And I believe it was Cardwell, everything safety, who was the first one there to kind of grab him and keep him from popping it back to the outside.
Yeah, Jalen Reed has a nice night as well, and a little hobbled after this play, but I'll tell you what, man, these kids are playing hard and they are balling out. You can tell how much this game means to both squads. Can't wait to see how the last 1:35 looks like.
All right, so Clemens has all 3 of their timeouts and $1:35 to play, and it is Faber. And we have a pre-snap penalty. Again, it's going to be a false start.
False start on the offense. 5 yards. Still first down.
So it'll be first down and 15 for Clemens, and that's not what you want when you're trying to put together momentum in a game-winning drive. But they'll gather. Remember, they have one of the most dangerous receivers in the country at the top of your screen in Tommy Bush. Faber looking his way. Faber buying time, now unloads it down the sidelines, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, that 5 yards really makes this drive look extra daunting. And well, I'll tell you what, these guys are really laying it all out tonight. I mean, I really enjoyed watching Caleb Paulette, I think was the kid back there throwing blocks, trying to help out his quarterback. Maybe it was Marshawn Brown, I couldn't really tell, but just guys really trying to do everything they can to try to get this ball downfield.
Bush one-on-one. They throw it. It may be intercepted. It's tipped. Incomplete. They looked for Tommy Bush on the one-on-one slant route, and it was just a little too hot out of his hands for Faber. Now you got 3rd and 15.
Yeah, and really just a great job by Steele playing zone. They had coverage over the top. They had coverage inside and outside, and that was going to have to be a perfect pass in order to make that thing complete. And now you got to believe, of course, it's 2-down territory, but got to do something to make this 4th down play manageable.
Find a way to get into the hands of Brown, maybe on a screen or something. Is a keeper for Faber. He's not their runner. He gets to the outside. He's slung down out of bounds. Steele's defense rising up. Juan Henry, we talked about him, the New Mexico State offer. Valdelamar, 99 over there as well. And it's 1 play now for the Clemens Buffaloes.
Yeah, really great job by Steele. Those guys that were down there, Juan Henry included, just doing a really good job of getting through those blocks and slinging the QB out of bounds.
Well, taking a break. Steele, 1 play to get the football back. Clemens, 1 shot left. Welcome back. Light the night. Knights, plural, with a K.
I see what you did there. I thought it was at a concert.
They're fired up. Their defense 1 play away from stopping Clemens' last-second drive here. 3rd and 15. And Chuck, I would think it's very tough when you know, I don't know how many pass attempts they had tried up until that last drive. Probably just a handful the entire game. And you do everything on the ground all night long, and then you're facing a drive like this, and you put it up 3 or 4 straight. It's got to be difficult because it's just not what you do.
Well, it's that, and then you talk about how veteran this Steele defense is and how talented they are in the back end. You know, you're really dancing with the devil when you got to throw the ball and you got so many quality DBs back there.
They're not going to let Bush beat him. They got Cardwell guarding him, and Stearns rolled up over the top. And again, a pre-snap whistle. And it's not a false start. It's Clemens burning another timeout. So there was something pre-snap that they didn't like. They have the timeout to burn it on a play this important. You can't blame Jared Johnson for burning it because it all comes down to this one anyway.
Well, it's one of those things, if you could hold your timeouts, then if you don't pick this up, you could still use your full battery of timeouts and then possibly get the ball back. But again, there's not going to have much time left, and you got to know that Steele would be punting the ball. So Coach Johnston feeling like, yeah, I mean, when in doubt, let's burn another timeout and make sure we're all on the same page here, because not a whole lot of plays for 4th and 15, I can assure you that.
The Steele sideline fired up. Solemn looks here on the Clemens side, but the Knights got their student section just completely pumped up. You can hear them all the way across the stadium. 4th down. It all comes down to this. Who says this isn't a rivalry and the playoffs are the only thing that matters? It's a reverse to Bush, and he wants to throw it, and does, and it's intercepted. Caden Stearns. That's just what he does. The All-American coming up with the pick.
Trying to do a little razzle-dazzle, and you can't blame him trying to junk it up here on the last play. And it looked like there was some miscommunication on the route. It looked like Tommy Bush wanted him to go a little deeper. He wanted his receiver to go a little further down the field. And it's rough, man. When you got Stearns, Cardwell back there literally playing 1 foot in front of the sticks, and you got to beat those two guys deep, it's asking an awful lot.
And because they burned that extra timeout, it's victory formation time. 2 snaps and we're done here at Lenoff Stadium. The Steele Knights will improve their district record and will have really bounced back from that 4-game losing streak, knocking off a Clemens team that only had 1 loss coming in, and that was to Judson. So again, it doesn't mess with the playoffs too much, but there's a lot of pride here on the 3009, and they'll have bragging rights for a year.
Well, we talked about it earlier, you know, having to settle for field goals because Clemens really, I thought, managed this game to a T. You know, time of possession, got to believe it's clearly in Clemens' favor.
Burleson's injury hurt him some.
Yep.
For sure. And then you got to admire David Saenz' crew. They were patient. It was never out of reach. And when they had to put together a long drive, think about it. They put together 2 drives all night. The first drive of the game and then the one late in the 4th quarter. And they were fairly docile offensively the rest of the game.
Well, you know, you find a way to win, and that's what they do an awful lot at Steele High School, but can't say enough about the effort and the game that we saw here tonight. You know, we started off Hallmark TNL this year with the league game early. It was a whale of a game to start our season, and wow, didn't think we could ever top that, but we sure did here tonight.
And David Saenz comes in, takes over this program with so much pressure, so much history following in the footsteps of Mike Jinks and Scott Lenoff, and all of a sudden you look up and you're 1-4. That's just not what they do. So for him to bounce back with running the table after that and having a very good chance to advance in the playoffs, look at the excitement. The Steele Knights are celebrating like they, you know, won a state championship.
Well, it just goes to show you, I mean, again, especially for these seniors, this is one of those games you're going to be talking about if you're these kids for the rest of your lives. You know, when you got your grandkids, hey, man, when I was 18 years old, we had a come from behind victory against our rivals right next door. You're telling them how good you are back then, and the difference between us telling those stories and these kids telling the stories is theirs will be true. Ours are completely fabricated.
And the thing is, though, in 20 years, Stearns jumped 10 feet to intercept the ball. In 30 years, he jumped 20 feet in the air. And did it with one hand.
Right. What a ball game.
In a snowstorm.
Right. These two teams are going to be no easy customers to play if you get either one of these squads in the postseason. I can assure you that.
Well, we got lots to talk about when we come back. We'll hand out our Monarch Trophy hardware, announce our player of the game, give the team award to the Steele Knights, break down the playoffs, and a lot more coming on the final episode of the 2017 season of Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. Don't go anywhere. We're back with our post-game show right after this.
Welcome to the Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights post-game report.
Welcome back to Lenoff Stadium. A thriller. Steele, Clemens living up to the billing. Both teams ranked in our TNL top 10, and boy, this one lived up to every second of it. Mike Hernandez down on the field with the victorious Knights. Mike.
Yeah. How about them Steele Knights, eh? How about them Steele Knights? They're just a little bit pumped, guys. All right, listen up, listen up. Gonna start out Congratulations to the Knights for their big victory. I want to start out with your MVP for tonight. Your MVP rushed for 146 yards on 30 carries, 2 touchdowns. I'm talking about number 25, Brendan Brady. Where's Brendan? Where is Brendan? There he comes. Hey, man, over here, over here, over here. Brendan. Did you hear any of that? You just happen to be coming through the area.
Oh, yeah.
So, you're our MVP for tonight. If you didn't know what you did, 30 carries, 146 yards, and 2 TDs. You had a pretty good night. This was a tough game, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. It definitely was. I knew they were going to come out tough and give us their best fist, and they definitely did. They're a great football team, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they're doing in the playoffs.
What are your plans moving forward?
I'm going to enjoy this one with my teammates tonight, and then we'll move on first round of the playoffs. We're going to get ready for that.
All right. So how do you see? You guys had a slow start, but 5 games in a row now you've won. How's the team feel to you? Where do you feel you are?
Oh, I feel like we're on the right track. Our team, like you said, we started out slow, but we're finally starting to pick up and play our brand of football. Defense, they stepped up huge tonight and held them for and out. So they won the game for us. So I'm proud of our defense.
Well, congratulations, Brendan Brady. Let's give a big round of applause. All right, okay, we're not done yet. Listen, I got a couple of other guys I'd like to talk to before we talk to Coach. Where's Caden Stern? And let's say Javion Cardwell. Where's Javion? There you go. How you guys doing? Good. Big game, guys. Congratulations to the whole defense. You guys were outstanding today. You guys moving forward, I know you have some big plans. Where are you going to be heading to college?
I'm going to be attending Oklahoma State University.
Oklahoma State, all right.
University of Texas.
How about that? Okay, what do you feel about that, man? I mean, you guys, it looks like a big, bright future for you all.
Blessed, really. I couldn't get it done without these dudes behind me, and the coaches put me in the spot to make a play. So it's all of them, and then, again, like I said, just God. That's how I got to give it to.
All right. What do you think, sir?
Yeah, always referring to God for getting you where you got to be. For my teammates, they made me better throughout this whole year. So I got moved to corner. I learned the position from Coach Sines and the whole coaching staff, and it made me a better player.
All right, well, congratulations. Good luck moving forward, and God bless you guys, okay?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right. Coach! So, Coach, yes, great win tonight. Yes. Man, this was something to watch, let me tell you.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be kind of like a backyard brawl anytime we play your school within your district, and we knew, Coach Johnson, those guys do a great job, and they're a good football team, and we came out with a W.
What was the turning point for you all that you felt in the game in the second half that you guys took control?
And I would say more than anything, we got field position back a little bit. That first half, we gave them a couple short fields, and they capitalized. Anytime you make mistakes against a good team, they're going to capitalize on you. And we made them drive a little bit more that second half and took advantage of some of the shorter fields we had.
All right. Well, listen, congratulations. You said you all know you're taking Brennan on, is that correct?
Yes, we'll take. I'm not exactly sure on the date and timing of that, but yeah, we'll be playing the Brennan Bears.
All right, your team has left.
Yeah, they're going to do the school song.
Okay, listen, so I'm going to be giving you the trophy.
All right, and I'll present it to them.
This is the first time, this is the 100th game that we've done. This is the first time the team has left us. So I'm going to let you make the presentation to them. Okay. Congratulations.
All right, thank you, guys.
Steel Knights, the winners tonight over the Clemens Buffaloes 14-13. Interesting night, guys. What a way to finish.
Yeah, they got a few trophies over there at Steele. That one they can just throw in the case.
Yeah, I think. Hey, sometimes, the school song, man, sometimes some things are more important. Take a look at our TNL top 10 coming into this one. Steele was 9th at 5-4, and Clemens was number 5. So you would think the Knights would vault up. And then O'Connor is rallying as we speak to come back to tie up Brennan 35-all. They're still playing in the fourth quarter, maybe headed to overtime. It's mid-fourth quarter, O'Connor and Brennan, so we'll have to see what happens there. Of course, the TNL Top 10 doesn't mean a lot to those guys as they go forward, getting all ready for next week. When we come back, we'll have much more on our Hallmark University postgame show. Clemens falls to Steele. The final 14-13. We're coming right back.
I'm joined on the field right now by your deputy superintendent for the district, Dr. Damon Edwards. How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
What a big night for y'all. I mean, this was just a tremendous evening, a tremendous showing. Not only a great game, but the stands were filled, and it was a pleasure to watch. We do all the games during the years, and we do a lot of them. We were talking about it's 100 games that we just celebrated for Thursday Night Lights, and we haven't had one that's more exciting than this.
Yeah, it was a great night for us. Our kids played hard. Both teams played hard, obviously, by the score, and it was just a great night.
For the district, how do you see this? I mean, having this kind of a rivalry going on, and this kind of a deal, the Battle of the Double. Let me let you hold on to that. This shirt here, Battle of 3009. Talk about that. Where does that come from for the folks that don't know it?
Well, we're pretty much divided by a major road, and it's Farm to Market Road 3009, and so that's almost the dividing line of Shirts and Cibolo, as well as the school attendance zones as well. A little bit variation, but that's kind of where the Battle of 3009 comes from.
All right, so turn it around for me, and then talk about that.
Well, this is really what it's all about, and you can see it says location divides us. Community unites us, and you saw the kids after the game how they went out and congratulated one another and gave each other hugs, and that's it. Fierce competition on the field and played their hearts out. But when it's all said and done and the game's over, they're going to go out and congratulate each other and support one another. And we've seen that in football. We've seen it in basketball over the years. Just very, very supportive community, very close-knit community. And it truly represents the type of kids that we have and the example that coaches set for them and just the community in general.
Well, congratulations on what you've achieved, because this is certainly something that you guys live. Obviously, you can see it, and you're not going to get more intense competition than you had out there. And just like you said, they're all out there together right now, and that's really good to see. Congratulations.
Thank you. We're very proud of our kids and our staff, our coaches, and everybody. That makes it a lot of fun and makes it very, very much worth it.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your evening, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for stopping by.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike. Hey, it's time for our pick and pull collision of the game. Talked all night about Allenby, and Chuck, he laid it right there to get the collision of the game.
Yeah, Alex Allenby, one of the many Steele Knights that had a phenomenal ball game, and we were talking about this during one of the breaks, Don. So many of these guys like Stearns, you just see their ability to just textbook tackle. I mean, they get to the point and they just drive through the ball carrier. Both of those guys had a whale of a ball game, laying the wood, as it were. But again, what a ball game between Clemens and Steele. And really it came down to, when Clemens had the ball down by the goal line, a couple times they had to settle for field goals instead of touchdowns. And, although they dominated the statistics, Steele, when they needed a drive, they got one late, got the late punch. And I just can't wait to see what these teams are both going to do in the playoffs, because, again, just so much talent, so well coached, and just, you got to love the way they play football. Do it the right way.
I'll tell you what I loved. I loved the Night Office Solutions play of the night. You can always give a collision to Caden Stearns, but when they needed it on fourth down, Clemens broke out some trickeration. Tommy Bush doing his best to let it fly, but Caden Stearns, the All-State, All-American, Army All-American Bowl participant, came up with the pick over another great athlete there, throwing it into triple coverage. And Caden Stearns has our Night Office Solutions play of the night. We're coming back with much more here from our post-game show. Steele over Clemens, the final, 14-13.
All right, I'm joined on the field right now by Clemens running back Marshawn Brown. Congratulations on a great game and a great season.
Thank you.
You got over 1,000 yards rushing. I don't know what you got tonight, but you did pretty good.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
So now you didn't start till was this year that you started?
Yes, sir.
That's a long time to wait.
Yeah, you just got to be patient, man. Trust the process, really. You know, coaches preach, trust the process. You got to trust it.
So what did you think about the game tonight?
I knew we were going to come in here and have a dogfight. Like, they wasn't going to let up. One, because we haven't beat them in years. And, yeah, it was just going to be a dogfight. I knew it was going to be a dogfight.
Yeah, went down to that final drive. But, you know, again, I'm going to do the math here real quick. So let's say you had 1,056 yards coming in. You got 146 tonight. So that puts you over 1,200 yards for the year. That's not bad.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what do you think moving on now? I know you're going to get to play in the All-Star game in January. You're one of the young men that's been selected to do that. You want to play football at the next level? And if so, where would you like to play?
Next level, really anyone just to go to the next level, really. Just to be able to go to college. I'll be probably the first one in my family to go to college, so that'll be very exciting.
All right, and what do you think about the playoffs? You got a big game. You know who you're going to be playing next week yet?
O'Connor.
You're going to start out with O'Connor. That's a tough draw, but that's a tough draw for them too, because they got to play you guys, and y'all are one of the best in the city. What do you think? How do you think that game is shaping up? How do you match up against them?
Really, we just got to practice hard and do the little stuff. The little stuff, like you saw, it came down to the fourth quarter and the little plays. So we just got to execute those, and we can get it, or we can get after them early. Like I know we can. So.
All right. Well, listen, son. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Enjoyed watching you play, and I look forward to seeing you play in the All-Star game and in the playoffs. Okay.
Thank you.
Good luck. God bless.
All right. You too.
Back to you guys.
All right. Thanks a lot, Mike. Steele over Clemens tonight, 14-13. We've got our game highlights, our iDreamSA.com game highlights, and what a game it was as Steele moved up in the rankings. I would think after tonight, it was the Brendan Brady show early. We saw him at the beginning of the game, and we saw him at the end of the game.
Yeah, I scored. Got Steele right off and running there on their first drive, but then, tell you what, these Buffs, there's no quitting them, and, you know, in a lot of regards, could have easily won this football game tonight. Got the punch that gave them the lead, and then, well, I'll tell you what, this guy, he talked about trusting the process and the season he's had. I mean, he could have played football for anybody in the city last year, toting the rock, but playing behind Cameron Brown a year ago, finally got his chance, had a big night tonight. But again, Steele, when you put the chips on the table and you need a drive to go win a football game, you know, it was twofold. They not only scored the touchdown, but they left Clemens with very little time on the clock. And ultimately, that was the difference in the ball game. But as we take a look at our final stats, again, I mean, look at the yards rushing. Clemens, 200 to 160. Passing yardage, obviously, way in favor of Steele. But, you know, I thought Clemens played a whale of a game. It was a chess match in a lot of ways. And, you know, had a couple of turnovers tonight. But all in all, well-played game, two well-coached teams, and two teams that are going to be really, really hard to stop in the postseason, although they both are going to have some matchups that, you know, they're going to be tested early.
We'll come back. We got much more on our post-game show. Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. We'll wrap it up when we come back. Welcome back. They're still celebrating, members of the Steele band, as Steele victors tonight, 14-13. Hey, the next time we see you will be at the San Antonio Sports All-Star Game presented by HEB, calling high school football. Of course, we got Texas State on the CW35 this weekend, but the next time we see you on TNL, it'll be Saturday, January the 6th, and 6 of these kids will be playing, some great ones.
Yeah, Brendan Brady, Javion Cardwell, Charlie Zeno from Steele, and then Carter Brew, Marshawn Brown, and Darius Van Dyke, all going to get to play one more high school football game after their playoffs are over. So I know we're all looking forward to that as well.
Oh, that's a fun time. Hey, we'd like to really thank Hallmark University for being our title sponsor for the first time this year. They came through, as well as our presenting sponsor, Jack in the Box, and lots of the others that have been with us for many years, including ASCO, Ernest Roofing, America's Diamond, CPS Energy, Vulcan Materials Company, Monarch Trophy, Miracle Mattress, Kielbasa, Pick and Pull, Night Office Solutions, and the rest. High school band, Lymphedema. It's been a fantastic year. And we'd really like to thank Chuck and I would, our executive producer, Dean Radla, Jimmy Cola, the director of sales, the guy who makes all the pictures look great, our director and technical director, Brian Watts, associate producer, Rick Zamora, Valerie Watts on Chiron, audio tonight, David Lowe, Josh Babin, Randy Watts doing the score bug, John Lunning, our cameraman, Marco Ortega, Arthur Estes, Ski, Michael Rubish, Bryce Rushing, Eric Armenta, Carlos Sanchez, Steve Foodie, Bobby Doyle, John Gonzalez, David Oliver, Mike Guerrero, and Mike Seifert back at the engineers, back at the station. Lori Cook, who helps us with the Scholar Athlete. Felicia Pastrano, who gets us these cool golf shirts to wear that say TNL and Jack in the Box on them. Our sales promotion director. Robert Ganbert, who handles the social media. Sean Tyson on camera. And then Chuck and I would really like to thank Chris Kotfus, who's our producer. And man, I can't tell you how hard work Chris puts in all week long. He works a 40-hour-a-week job. He puts in another 40 just putting stuff together, all the research materials, the rosters, the spotter boards, talking to the coaches. And Chuck, we couldn't do this if it wasn't for Chris Kotfus.
Yeah, doing his best to try to make us look good. It's a really awfully difficult task to do, but he does it with ease, and he is the best.
He's the best in the business. Hey, coming up this weekend on the CW35, Chuck and I will call Georgia State and Texas State up in San Marcos after Virginia Tech takes on Georgia Tech. It's a 3 o'clock game up in San Marcos. I didn't know that. I thought we were.
I didn't either. I thought it was 6 o'clock too. It's a good thing Chris has got us looking ahead. Oh, we would have been got there by halftime.
3 o'clock.
Woo!
That's coming up on the CW35.
Oh, mercy.
On Fox 29. Oh, look at this. TCU, OU, a Big 12 battle. That's going to wrap up a big day of college football on Fox 29. And then, of course, we go into the weekend with pro football, the Vikings and Redskins, the first game of a doubleheader. Hannah and Jack will be in Atlanta for the Battle of the Owners, getting nasty there. Jerry Jones and Arthur Blank and the Cowboys and Falcons will have complete coverage on Maximum Sports and on Sports Sunday. And then, of course, on Channel 4, we've got Sunday Night Football, the Broncos and Patriots on News 4. Also like to thank Mark Kusenberger up here, our statistician extraordinaire. Mike Hernandez down on the sidelines. Didn't thank those guys. It's been a terrific year of Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights, and we're looking forward to doing many more of them in the future. You got the last word, partner?
Oh, man, it was just a blast on as usual, and I'll tell you what, I hate to say it, I can't wait for 2018. It was a great year, and looking forward to all kinds of spectacular matchups next year on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights.
Playoffs are going to be fun. We'll see you next time, everybody, on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. Good night.